All right, guys, welcome to a new segment that I'm putting out called Ask Me Anything. This is where agents get to ask questions about growing their business, and I give you my real and honest advice based off my 20 years of experience in trying everything under the sun, from marketing to different sales strategies and stuff like that. So I'm going to take my crack at some of these questions that I got asked, and hopefully you get some value out of it. Here's one that I was looking at that I had an agent reach out to me, actually DM me through social media. And the question was, I follow you on social media. Someone referred me to you. I see you've had a lot of success with, generating clients and stuff like that through social media. And so can you give me some advice as a new agent on how to build my brand online and how to, maybe generate clients and get my name out there, right? And so the first thing I did was I checked out her Instagram page, right? And I went through everything, and here's something that I saw that I think a lot of agents, the mistake a lot of agents make, was what I saw on her page, is there was a lot of posts that were on there, but all of the posts were either like infographics or just photos of properties. None of them featured her actually talking to the camera like this. So I had no clue like who this person was, like what sort of personality they had, what sort of knowledge they brought to the table. There was just a lot of posts that didn't really mean anything, right? So I'm thinking, if I'm a buyer or a seller and that's what I see on your page, how does that make you stand out, right? How does that compel me to want to work with you? How does that get me to be intrigued about who you are as an individual? And so I told, this agent, like, look, you got to think of your social media, your Instagram page, your feed and all that stuff as your own personal TV channel. This is your station, right? And so if you're not showing up on your own station, why should I watch, right? And so that's the thing, is you don't want to be for everyone, right? You want to be your own station. And so what you talk about and how you present the information is going to be different on your channel than if it's on somebody else's channel. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is they want to be for everybody. So they try to play it safe and they don't actually let their true personality shine, right? Now here's the reality, is that someone following you on social media isn't automatically just gonna see you post something and then say, okay, let me reach out to this agent and see if they can help me buy or sell. That's just not the way it works. What's gonna happen is, if you are posting on social media consistently and you are giving value and you are showcasing who you are, your knowledge, your personality, and things about you that aren't just real estate related, maybe things that you might have in common with other people, other interests that you have. What happens is, over time, the person watching you, their perception, they start building a perception of you, right? They start thinking of you, based off what you post. So if I'm posting really good content and things that are valuable to buyers and sellers and helpful tips and things that show my professionalism and all that good stuff, I'm going to leave that lasting impression on my followers that, hey, I'm somebody reliable. I'm someone that you can call and contact for information because I'll give you good advice. I'm proving it to you through my posts, right? And so I think that's the big thing there, is you got to understand it's not an overnight thing. It takes a long time to build your brand online and to build your image and all that stuff on social media. And so you might as well just start building it that's, in a way that's true to you, right? You might as well build it in a way where you are showing who you are, and you're building it in an authentic way, right? And I think that's the thing, is sometimes we overthink it. We think, well, I gotta look like this other producer, this top producer, or I gotta sound like this, or I gotta talk like this, or I gotta show my stuff like this, because if I do, then more people will like me or more people will want to do business. We correlate someone's success with what their style of posting, looks like, and that's just not it, right? Someone's success is not an overnight thing. It's years and years of working at their craft and building their name and building their following, which is what led them there. And so it's a little misleading, when you're looking at social media. And so what are some things you can do, right? Some tangible things that you can do, and that what I would recommend. I think a good social media channel has a mix of both personal and business stuff. I would highly recommend you do not have a separate Instagram or Facebook for your business and a separate one for your personal stuff. Unless you own the company, right? Maybe you own a brokerage or you own an actual company, then your company should have their own, Instagram, because it's like an online website. But if you're like a real estate professional who services buyers and sellers, you're a typical real estate agent, there's no need for you to have a separate page. In fact, like why would I want to go to your separate page that you barely even post on, right? Like it's too much to manage and it's not real. Like people don't really want to go to your separate page. Now, you should have one page that's all inclusive that shows all aspects of you, right? So that people can get to know you on the business side and the personal side. And I think you should include personal stuff, right? Show your interest and hobbies, show your time with your family, show while you're on vacation, show the things that are interesting to you because someone's going to resonate with that, right? You don't want to be for everybody. You want to be for the people who vibe with you, right? I think you should mix in, the real estate stuff, helpful tips for buyers and sellers, market updates, community spotlights, maybe collaborations with other agents or other business owners, because now that exposes you to their audience. Keep people informed on what's happening, right? What are you learning during training? What's something you learned from a transaction? What's a recent question that somebody asked you about buying and selling? And what's the advice that you gave them? Because I'm sure if that person's asking you, then other people are asking you. Just like why I made this video. I had an agent ask me a question, so now I'm putting it out there to other people because there's people that probably have the same question, right? And you should always do it in your own words, right? I had another agent say that, hey, I'm doing market updates. I get these PDF market updates from my title company or from my MLS, and I post those on social media. And I said, well, what does that do for the consumer by just seeing a graphic or a market update? You're missing a lot of bang for your buck. Instead, take that market update, read it, understand it, and then now create a video and say it in your own words, with your own flavor, with your own spin, with your own perspective on it, with, your perspective is going to be different from someone else's perspective, and make it easy for somebody to understand, right? And so the big takeaway here, guys, is building your presence online and using social media to build your brand and your business. It's something that takes time. It's something that takes you getting comfortable just with who you are. Stop worrying about what you look like, right? You have a bad hair day, so what? People have bad hair days. Stop trying to be perfect. I think that's the main thing as well, right? Because nobody is perfect, right? If you're trying to create this image or facade that's not real, and then someone meets you in person and you don't look like what you look like on camera, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Right? Or you talk different on camera because you're trying to be somebody, and then you talk different in person. Like there's a mix match there, right? So you want to be the same person on camera that you are in person. That makes sense, right? And so, guys, we can go on and on about how to do this, but I think, you're never going to be comfortable with seeing yourself talk, right? Like sometimes I watch my own videos back and I'm like, ooh, look at my hair. Ooh, look at that pimple on my face, or look at that, or man, you look tired in that video, right? I am tired. That's probably why, right? Or you're not, maybe I could have said that different, or maybe I fumbled, right? Who cares if you fumble? If you fumble in your videos, that just means you're real. You're a real person, right? And so I think you just got to put yourself out there. I think you just got to stop worrying about what people think, because someone's always going to have an opinion, and just start being who you are. The more you can be who you are, and the more you can come from a perspective of what is valuable to the person watching. What would be valuable for someone buying or selling, or whatever you're trying to generate, right? Whatever type of opportunity you're trying to generate. If you do loans, right? What would be valuable to someone who's shopping for a mortgage right now, right? Give that real raw information that you talk about behind the scenes on your consultations or your appointments, and put that into video format, and keep doing that every single week, several times per week, and mix it up so your page is not boring. Talk about the personal stuff. I show my workouts all the time because I work out, and I like working out, right? And that keeps me disciplined, so hopefully people that watch it, that work out, are like, hey, props, you worked out today, I worked out today too, cool. Like that's how, we relate to each other. Or maybe someone that's thinking of working out and runs a business like I do, and they want to work out more. Maybe they see me and they're like, man, if he could do it, I could do it. Let me get off my butt and start making some stuff happen, right? And so you'd be surprised at how many doors and opportunities can open up from you just being yourself, being a little vulnerable, not just making everything look perfect online, not just only talking about the wins, talk about the losses too. There's not enough of that, right? Like everybody's trying to show the best of the best online, and it creates this false, illusion of what's going on, right? Talk about like that buyer that fell out of contract. Talk about that listing appointment that you didn't get, right? That listing that you went on and the seller didn't choose you, right? And why they didn't choose you, maybe what you think you could have done differently, or maybe why you think they didn't choose you, or maybe why they weren't a good fit for you. Like, talk about the real stuff, right? People want to know the real shit, right? Like, that makes you human. That's going to create that, your tribe, right? Your tribe will slowly gravitate towards you. The people who like you and like what you put out are going to continue to follow you. The people who don't vibe or resonate with you, they're going to tune out, right? They're going to keep scrolling, or they're going to unfollow you. And that's actually a good thing. If people are unfollowing you, that means those really aren't your tribe. And the people who do follow you because they saw your content, those are the people you want. You want to build more of those. All right, guys. So that's how you build your brand online. I know I went on and on, but I think there's some value you could take from this. I'll see you next time on the Ask Me Anything series.